Hey there, thanks for tuning into DuckBricks. I'm Chris, and welcome back to another massive haul video and mini tour of one of my favorite used LEGO stores, Andy's Brick Shop. So we've covered Andy's Brick Shop on a number of different videos on this channel. I have them linked below, so if you do want a full tour of the store, check those out. But for this video, we'll be taking a look at something very special. Andy's is an incredible source of a lot of really rare Bionicle pieces. I mean, just take a look at all these amazing Bionicle G2 pieces, and he has this great bulk bag program, so you can really just fill up a bulk bag like this and get a ton of different pieces like that. So lots of really great goodies to be sorted through here. I'm going to be here for a while, so let's just go ahead and take a look at the haul. We'll fast forward to that right now. So I have had some crazy Bionicle bulk hauls from Andy's before, but this one honestly kinda takes the cake. Two massive Ziplocs filled with a ton of rare Bionicle G2 pieces from some of the rarest sets, a massive influx of new CCBS parts for me to add to my collection, and a whole lot of masks and heads to boot. Just from a quick overview here, and of course we will be going through each individual piece a lot more in detail, you can just see the sheer amount of different intricate pieces that are actually from some of the rarest Bionicle G2 sets that you can find here. In fact, if I really wanted to, I probably could just go ahead and rebuild a lot of the G2 pieces. In fact, you can see a lot of the masks here, but of course, because I already own every single Bionicle set, I'm going to be doing something a little bit different for these pieces. For most of them, I will be trying to recreate some of the G2 combiner models, because that is one aspect of my collection that is not complete. I do not yet own all of the G2 combo models, so we're going to be trying to piece some of those together as best we can, and really I'm not at home right now, so if there are going to be a couple pieces that are mismatched or missing, I'll just go ahead and fix those when I'm at home, and pretty much just have them as close as possible to complete as I can. As for the rest of the pieces, I am on a quest to build and review each of the special Bionicle Makuta models, like the Overlord Makuta or the Brawler Makuta shown off during specific Makuta contests at the end of 2016. Now, depending on the release cycle of these videos, some of these videos may actually already be out, but that's pretty much where these pieces are going to be going. And of course, they are also going to supplement my main collection of LEGO parts as well. So just for some context, these bags were approximately $40 each, which came out to around $80. I actually had a third bag, so it was $120 in total. However, the third bag was used to create multiple different official sets, combiner models, and yes, I did set aside all of the different masks and head pieces that I can find here, plus two different capes from the LEGO Star Wars CCBS Construction Series, Obi-Wan Kenobi and Darth Vader, which absolutely will be useful in the future. So I want to break this video up by first starting off with some of the pieces, namely the masks, then the general pieces, and then we're going to be taking a look at what official models I was actually able to put together from just these parts alone. So setting these off to the side first and getting the capes out of the way, which obviously you can see right here, they're just really nice fabric capes, very well-made capes for construction figures. Let's get into the good stuff. So here you can see an assortment of the different Bionicles, mostly G2, but other G1 random masks as well. Namely, let's kind of try to set these all apart. We have the special dual molded gunmetal gray and transparent neon orange mask that only featured in Ikimu the Mask Maker as a set. This was the Umarak the Hunter mask, but in a special blend. Never received any story significance as to what exactly this particular mask represented in the G2 world, but still a really cool mask to get just for random pieces and whatnot. Speaking of Ikimu, we also have multiple copies of the Mask of Creation, so you can see the main Mask of Creation here. We also have the Ikimu Protector Mask. We have, for the golden masks, two different golden Skull Spider masks, which came in the Lord of Skull Spider sets. Actually, three different ones. Wow, it's a lot of losses. And then we also have the golden Kopaka mask, the dual molded golden and transparent blue one from the Skull Warrior set. We also have the Onua mask in the gold and transparent purple from Skull Basher, which is great to see there as well. Plus, just still some more masks like the special blended 2016 Uniter version of Kopaka's mask, dual molded in the white and trans neon green, which featured in the Storm Beast set. Most importantly, I really was happy to get the gunmetal gray skull mask because I needed it for my own custom builds. And we also have a lot of the other rarer G2 final wave set masks, like the Beast masks right here for Quake and Storm. And then a creature head, which I actually didn't manage to get all of the different creature heads. I made them into a bracelet, went out to a party, all of them got lost. It's a long story, but now I only have this one. But I did manage to get multiple copies of all of the other creature heads as well. We have the Protector mask dual molded in black and transparent purple, the trans neon orange special GWP exclusive Mask of Fire right here, some more of the purple Protector masks for the Protectors of Earth, and we have just some random Skull Spider masks. We have another skull mask in the silver color instead of gunmetal gray, the G2 Gali Uniter form of the mask right here, almost like the Nuva form. We actually have two of those, which is pretty interesting to see. Standard Onua mask from the 2015 version, silver Lost mask, the standard white Kopaka mask. I believe I could have just literally recreated the full Kopaka set from the 2015 wave, so that was nice to get. Skull Spider here, another Protector, just kind of random G2 masks that I was able to find in the pile of different pieces there. And yeah, so these are all of the different G2 masks I was able to find that are not featured on the builds right now. So I did manage to get a lot of other builds, which you'll be seeing in a second, but these were just the extras that I had left over that didn't really correspond with any particular thing. Next up, we had a ton of stuff from G1 and even Hero Factory. So the Hero Factory one's kind of the odd one out here. This was the very special transparent blue Crystal Beast upper jaw piece. I wanted to get a copy of this because they actually released a polybag for Hero Factory, which featured the upper jaw piece that I personally did not own, but now I'm able to recreate very easily. First off, one of the rarest masks we got for Bionicle G1 is the Silver Krika mask. This only appeared in one of the 2009 Glatorian Battle Vehicle sets, so awesome to see that right here. Just some other Roxy stuff. Really, a lot of these are just kind of basic standard masks. We have the Nuparu Mari mask here, some stuff for Tohunga and whatnot, like the Jaller mask, the How in yellow. Multiple different copies of that, actually. We have the transparent or kind of gold-colored Cow, which is always great to see. One of my personal favorite masks from G1, which is the Arthron, the Mask of Sonar for Jaller Mari, molded in orange and dark red. We have Huki's mask in dark orange, and then two different copies of Nuparu's mask in orange, which specifically corresponded with a lot of the different Rahi Master Builder sets, like the Fuku Spider. So there you have it. All of the different masks, which is really fantastic to see. Let me just try to center this camera up right here so you can see all the different masks in all their glory all together. Very, very interesting that they actually had all these masks for sale just in the mask pieces. So just in the bins of Bionicle parts, as usual, they had different bins, and these are all the masks I was able to find. So let's now get all these off to the side and start talking about the main pieces. Starting off with this bag right here. They're kind of just randomly assigned. I actually, after I got these, I washed every single piece, and then I went through them to piece them all together for my own builds and to recreate some of the actual official models. So there isn't really any particular order to the way I'm doing this. There's just so many pieces to go through, so I just kind of want to do it one by one. All right, here we have this batch right here. First of all, you'll notice that this is the Jin Urso torso. It's actually fully working. This is one of the later Star Wars CCBS builds. It actually does still have the gear function fully implemented, so kind of funny to see bits and pieces of just half-completed sets here. I really wanted to get this because of the standard dark gray CCBS shells. Very rare pieces to get in that color. Very awesome to get as well, so setting that aside. Here's just some, I don't know, other random pieces I was able to find. Really just random stuff stuck together. The chest plate is from the Hero Factory Breeze Breakout set, so cool to see that somewhat limited set here. We got some more skull bones. Let's see, we've got some of the limbs to the Gali Uniter of Water set, featuring the special dual molded G2 2016 crystal pieces, and we're going to be seeing a lot of G2 here, namely the skull rib cages. Came in all these great transparent colors, so you can see them right here. And we also have a lot of the newer, especially rare crystal pieces. These only came in the 2016 second half of the year Beasts and Umarak the Destroyer sets. So we got one of them here for Quake Beast in Trans Purple. I'm sure we're going to be finding a lot more around here. And speaking of the Destroyers, we have one of the transparent neon green heads for G2, which was only used on the Beasts and Destroyer sets, featuring what remains of the build for the jaw. So I believe this actually was from the Umarak the Destroyer set, so very cool to see that here. We have one of the waist articulating torsos for Bionicle G2. The system piece on the back give this away as Gali's build right here. And then we have the 2015 Kopaka build right here, so the torso for Kopaka, just the standard Bionicle 2015 torso with the working gearbox, with all of the pieces fully integrated. I probably could rebuild Pohatu if I wanted to. I didn't find his mask, but I found pretty much everything else. You can see some of the armor pieces for Pohatu here. This is literally just Pohatu's leg. I mean, this is just the standard configuration for his leg. So if I wanted to, I could rebuild him, but honestly, I'll probably just use these for spare pieces because, of course, there's no real reason for me to rebuild it because I do own multiples of every G2 set already. We have some more of the special crystalline armor here. Always loved this piece, think it's a really cool look and feel. And then some more colors of the ribcage pieces, which are great for building your own skull villains. We have a Tahu right here, Tahu 2015 Masters with the chestplate build like so. And then we have what is basically an almost complete torso for the Beast of Earth right here. This is from the Beast of Earth because of the golden chestplate here, and you can see how the function works for the smashing feature. I did have the head as well, but unfortunately, as I mentioned, I lost it at an event, so that's all gone, but I did manage to actually get that for a little bit of time. And the same goes for this piece right here, which is from Qatar Creature of Stone, which you can see right here based on the function that gives it away. So always interesting to find new stuff here. Another waist articulatable set from here. We have multiple different copies of the exclusive 2015 Onua claws. I think this is just a really cool piece to have in general, so great to have so many claws to use in my own models. This is from the Storm Beast, I believe, so always awesome to see some of the prints from the rare G2 models. We have some beast straps here, some more of the piston add-ons. Let's see, who does this belong to? Skull Slicer right here. One of the Aqua Axes from Gali. Let's see what else we have. A gearbox here. We have the Pohatu chestplate from the 2016 Uniter Wave. Oh, another mask I somehow left out. This is the gunmetal gray version of the Vaison mask, which was actually officially used in the Maxilos and Spinax model from G1. So this is really great because I can really use this for the future. Let me just set that aside right then and there. Let's see, we have some pieces for the Agil Creature of Fire here, so you can have the wings be flapping back and forth. Again, another set I probably could just recreate from the pieces here. And we have some more just transparent limb pieces. Let's see, all sorts of stuff here. Kopaka Master of Ice, transparent purple bludgeoner piece here. This is the Mata Green Nuva armor, which is only from some of the hockey sets, so that's cool to get. The Quake Beast torso, so again, probably could recreate Quake Beast if I wanted to. This, I believe, is part of the build for Darth Vader. I actually found the fully complete CCBS Darth Vader build, or pretty much fully complete, but I did scrap it for parts. I had to steal a lot of parts from it, so this is kind of what remains of the torso right there. Let's see what else we got. One of the dish pieces from Hero Factory, which was the large Kopaka shield. We have a lot of Tohunga pieces in here as well, so I wanted to recreate as many Tohunga as I could. So I wanted to grab all these different random Tohunga parts and odds and ends, which you can see just right here. The same goes for a Hero Factory Explode Staff, one of the pieces from the K2SO build. This is a very special flat dark gold molded version of the Bionicle headpiece, which was only in some of the system sets. Another Onua claw right there. See the dark tan Vorox armor, a glow-in-the-dark Rotuka. Where did this glow-in-the-dark Rotuka spinner come from? I don't remember ever getting a glow-in-the-dark Rotuka. I could be completely wrong on this. Was this just in the Vizrak? Because I thought they had silver. I don't know. Maybe one of them had it. I'm probably completely forgetting. It may have been Rudaka or something, but cool to get a glow-in-the-dark Rotuka spinner because this is just a cool piece to have in general right here. Let's see, what else do we have? Some more Tohunga parts, more stuff for Pohatu. There's the Quake Beast and Storm Beast right there. Some of the tattered cloth elements. And yeah, as you can see, I'm almost just not having enough time to go through every single one of these because all of these pieces are just so valuable for Bionicle G2 and construction mocks. Plus, going all the way back to the beginning of G1, we got a lot of Tohunga pieces here as well. And we even have the dark orange air katanas from the Gakko build. Always great to get some of those. This is actually from the Poe Dameron buildable figure as well. So let's just move all this to the side and then take a look at our next bag here because there's even more stuff to see here. Now, I actually was able to stack together all of these transparent purple limb pieces, wore it as a bracelet for a while to some events, so this was kind of a fun piece to get. Very interesting conversation starter here by having the transparent purple pieces, but let's get all of these guys out here. Come on. All right. Okay, so even more pieces to look at here. More Onua claws. I don't know how many G2 Onuas they had in there, but if you just count, there's just a sheer amount of Onua claws I got was insane. Got some Vorox armor here, there's more of them. Of course, you got the Onua chestplate. This makes sense to include some more of the transparent purple elements here. Let's see. Lots of the chest plates for the Skull Warriors, so always great to see these because especially if I want to recreate some of these Skull Warriors, I'm able to with these pieces right here. Let's see what else we got. A Vladic sword. This is a cool piece from Knight's Kingdom. Finally digging around some more Tohunga stuff. Here's the chest plate to the Gali Uniter form. And some of these pieces are actually from G1 as well, such as the Pearl Gold Paraka feat being exclusive to the Brutaka model, which is amazing to see these pieces just kind of strewn in with the other Bionicle parts here and there. The eye stalk in the transparent yellow color for Takanuva. Tahunuva's Fire Blades right here. One of the Exoforce pieces, which originated as a Vaki staff and eventually became introduced in Exoforce. These are probably from the Creature of Fire for the Bionicle Creature stuff. Let's see, what else do we have right here? So, some more trap pieces from G2. We've got a Gunmetal Gray foot piece. I think this was only in Maxilos and Spinax as well, if I'm remembering correctly. The Lord of Skull Spider's face here. Let's see. Gali 2015's chest plate, one of these skull blades here. Honestly, if you look around, there's just so much stuff here. I almost can't mention them all because literally every single piece I pick up is very rare or has some sort of special significance in Bionicle, G1 or G2, although most of these are G2 pieces. Another transparent yellow headstock right there. Let's see what else we have. Some more Tohunga pieces. Again, more stuff from the Pohatu set. Some more of these blade axes, and man, this is just a crazy haul. I'm really only realizing just now how insane this haul was for only around $120 for all this, plus all the stuff I'm about to show you. I think that was a pretty crazy deal given the prices for a lot of the Bionicle G2 sets are pretty insane. And actually, I didn't even think I had to spend any money because I just traded in existing GWPs I had. So for all intents and purposes, all this stuff was free. So that was absolutely fantastic. Always great to go to Andy's and find some amazing stuff like this. Oh, here's another one of the Skull Spider masks that I missed. So let's take the claws off and put it with the masks over here. And more of these special G2 crystal pieces, always very, very useful to get in general. We have the pieces to the Creature of Jungle here, so you can obviously see the function here and the build for the model as well. This is actually pretty rare. It's one of the longer style of the bone pieces in transparent purple. Now this is the piece I needed for a long time for one of the other models that I was reviewing on this channel, the blue Nuva shoulder piece. More transparent purple pieces, some of the special molded silver elements for the Skull Warriors, bits and pieces of the creatures, another one of the flat dark gold head pieces, so great to see those. The Stormorang pieces for Pohatu, we've got the tattered cloth element. Let's see, what else do we have? Some more longer limb pieces from the Star Wars CCES stuff. A lot of the transparent purple claws from the Beast of Earth as well. This claw piece in white from the original years of Bionicle, and the same for this for Keyed Orange from the system sets. And we've got some more stuff. This one I believe is from Gali, this particular orange piece here, but the build here is for Pohatu, so kind of odd to see that being featured in conjunction with each other here. We've got some blaster pieces in trans blue, a trans red climbing claw. Man, all sorts of just insane stuff to see in this haul. I cannot wait to piece together all of these in a much more organized fashion and actually have these sorted out for my parts collection because man, this was an amazing parts haul. But wait, there's more, because not only was I able to get all of these pieces for $120, but I also was able to get all sorts of different combo models and official sets. So let's go take a look at those right now. Yeah, so in addition to all of the parts we just looked at, yes, I was also to rebuild the full version of one of the rarest, if not the single rarest, Bionicle G2 set that ever came out, Toa Ikimu, right here in all of his transparent blue glory, as well as a number of different combo models from across Bionicle G2's history. Namely, this one is the combiner between all of these Skull villains. This one's the combiner between some of the other Skull villains. This is the combiner between the Kopaka Master and the Protector of Ice. And this is the combiner between all of the rare beasts from the 2016 wave. So obviously, you probably are pretty familiar with Ikimu already. Not really much else I can say about him other than he is a very cool figure. I love the inclusion of the gear function here, which has the hammer swinging feature, which is really fantastic to see, as well as the addition of the waist articulation. Honestly, I would go so far as to say that this is probably one of my favorite Bionicle sets ever, if not my favorite, just for the amount of amazing articulation you're able to achieve while having some great gear functions along the way. Ikimu truly is the best of Bionicle G2 as a set, and I'm very happy to be able to pick up a second copy of him. Not really sure what exactly I'm going to do with 2, but given that it's probably one of my favorite Bionicle sets ever, I'm just simply happy to have 2 of him. He also has the actual cape that came in one of the poly bags. This I did not get as part of the haul. I got this in a different haul, which actually I've linked below in the description if you want to check out how exactly I obtained this, but he does also have this, but again, I kind of just threw that on him because I felt like it completes his look. With that though, let's take a look at some of the more interesting combo models because I haven't really seen them shown around off the internet all too much. We'll start off with one of the simplest ones. This one is just the simple Kopaka and Protector of Ice combo model. Again, nothing really super fancy going on here. I did have to substitute a couple of pieces. These are supposed to be trans blue. He's supposed to have the ice spikes in here. And of course, on the legs, I only was able to find 1 out of the 2 shells with stickers on them. But honestly, it's pretty good. And almost everything else about him is absolutely what it should be with the combo model itself. Technically, he's supposed to wear the golden mask, which I did actually find in the batch, but I just thought this one was cooler to leave on the combo model itself because it highlights the dual molded nature of ice, so I wanted to actually include it in. The weapons, he does have his standard spear on the back here, which you can actually remove and actually place into his hand, which is pretty interesting. They have it as a back attachment. He has these sort of ice wings, which give him a very interesting silhouette, which of course can be angled around. And he also has a dagger-like weapon with the ice shield here, and then a blaster with the ice spike as well. So kind of a strange look for Kopaka here, but certainly a very interesting one. Moving on from that, we have the next smallest combiner, which is the one between multiple different beasts here, or multiple different Skull Warriors. This is the combination between Skull Scorpio, Basher, and Slicer. I believe, although maybe this does factor in some of the other stuff from Kulta the Skull Grinder as well because of the color scheme. Now, of course, some colors have been substituted here because I just simply could not find them, but yeah, as it is, this is the other 4-armed Skull villain. I easily could see this being just one of the many other antagonists that the Toa faced along their journeys. So you have some large icy horns here from the Skull Warrior, and of course you have the multiple different arms from Skull Slicer, the 4-armed type of setup, except this one actually has a completely different function which allows you to spin them like so. So just a really fun model to have in general. I am on a quest to own all of the G2 combiner models now, especially because I do own all of the G2 sets and combiner models. Especially now that I own all of the G1 sets and combo models, I'm kind of on a quest to own all the G2 sets and combo models. Of course, I did get all the sets when they first came out, but I still need to get a couple more combo models. So this is just one more of them. Really great to be able to add this to my collection. Moving onwards, we have the combo between the Kulta Skull Grinder Ikimu and I believe one of the other beasts or Skull Warriors out there as well. So we have a snapping function which is somewhat reminiscent of the Skull Scorpio build, and then we have a completely new building for the legs here. It's actually honestly really interesting the way that they put the legs together for this. Kind of an odd setup because you really cannot move the legs whatsoever. You can only splay them outwards, but because of the way the joints are set up, it's very difficult to actually achieve any sort of bend because this is attached on the ball joint, which doesn't really allow a ton of movement. So you can't really bend the legs forwards or backwards all too much. Maybe you can get him in some sort of a shuffling walking pose, and I guess you can cause him to bend backwards a little bit like so, but forwards not so much. Very restricted motion. Not really sure if it's my favorite leg technique, but of course it does look very menacing for Kulta to be wielding the Mask of Creation here. Of course, he does have a gear function as well, just on this arm right here, so you can swing it up and down. Now, you may notice that the blades are just replacements. These blades are not accurate. He's supposed to be just using these Skull Scorpio leg pieces, but I just didn't have any of those extra on hand for whatever reason. I did not find them in the haul, so I just used these other blades I was able to scavenge from the rest of the builds. Moving onwards to the final combo model, here is Umarak the Destroyer's powered up form. This is the form that essentially combines all of the different beasts from Bionicle G2's final wave of villains. You can see he's using the Mask of Control here, and really the only substitutions that I made here were the colors of the claws, I believe the colors of these armor pieces, and finally the spike element, which just for whatever reason I was not able to locate in the parts bin. I wasn't actually looking for them either, so they probably were there and I just wasn't really paying attention. I was really just looking for interesting pieces, but here it is. So surprisingly enough, a lot of the build for the legs is pretty much very similar to the standard Umarak the Destroyer build. The legs in particular use a very similar build to add a good amount of friction in the way the legs work, but then you go up to the torso, which does have waist articulation. Look at this monster waist articulation here, and it's built completely differently, centered around a gearbox right here, which doesn't actually do anything. It's just a gearbox used structurally, and then you go all the way upwards. You've got a spike in the back, some purple spikes up at the top, and then you go up to the head. So this is an even taller Titan-like creature with absolutely large and menacing claws, using the same exact feature as the Umarak the Destroyer set, which the claws are pincers that go back and forth, but just to a much larger degree, because now he's got these big spiky claws which are completely different than the other sets. So this is a very fun combo model to end on, and yeah, I was just honestly incredibly shocked that I even was able to find these different other pieces to create the combo models. I'm sure that if I wanted to, I probably very easily could have just recreated the official sets. Honestly, in that haul, I probably could have just made a ton of the G2 sets if I wanted to put them together. But again, I already do own the random complete G2 sets, so I wanted to do something a little bit different with the pieces, use them in different ways that were useful to me as a collector, and that's why I wanted to put them all together, with the exception of Ikimu, which of course, given that he's one of my favorites, I wanted to just keep him in the standard set form. But with that, we have summed up our look at this insane Bionicle haul from Andy's Brick Shop. Absolutely shocked at the amount of stuff I was able to put together here. And that's really all I have to say. And that about wraps up our look at the massive G2 haul. If you are ever in the Lancaster, Pennsylvania area, please do go check out Andy's. It is easily probably one of my favorite used LEGO stores, and it's stuff like this that really makes me keep on coming back, because again, you never know what you're going to find, even in the bulk lots and just the standard sets as well. I certainly had a great time digging through the bulk pieces, and do let me know in the comments below, have you ever visited, and if not, would you like to visit a store like this? And also let me know if you know of any other stores that have such amazing deals on bulk Bionicle or just bulk LEGO in general like this. That's all for this video. Thank you so much for tuning into Duck Bricks, and I'll talk to you again very soon. Bye bye for now.